Nobody expected the Cleveland Browns to walk into OTAs with this much noise. But not because of highlight plays or flashy headlines. It's what's happening behind the scenes that's quietly reshaping everything. While most fans are focused on position battles, something deeper is brewing. A shift in tone, a change in urgency, and signs that this team might be preparing for something far bigger than anyone thought. You can feel it in the way players are talking, in the energy during reps, even in who's not showing up. This isn't your typical slow build offseason. The Browns are sending signals, and most people aren't even catching them. The most shocking part? The mix of silence and momentum. Nobody's making a scene, but names are rising, roles are shifting, and chemistry is either being built or broken. The roster doesn't feel finished. It feels like it's being tested. That's why this year's OTAs hit different. The Browns aren't just running drills. They're identifying who's locked in and who's fading fast. And fans who are only watching the surface, they're going to miss the players quietly stealing spots or the veterans whose windows might already be closing. Every snap right now has weight, and not everyone's keeping up. But here's where things get real. A few big names didn't show, and their absence raised more questions than answers. We're not talking about late-round rookies or guys clinging to the depth chart. These are core starters, household names. And while some absences make sense, others might signal deeper tension. So let's dig into it. Who skipped OTAs, why it matters, and what it tells us about where the Browns are really headed. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Browns and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. The Browns surprised fans when several key veterans, Myles Garrett, Greg Newsome, Deontay Johnson, Jack Conklin, and David Njoku, were unexpectedly absent from OTAs. While some like Garrett and Newsome have earned trust, Johnson's no-show raised eyebrows due to his unsettled status and past locker room issues. These absences, though labeled voluntary, may signal deeper shifts inside the team. And while veterans stayed quiet, younger players saw opportunity, setting the stage for new names to rise, including one quarterback who's already turning heads, Shedeur Sanders. What nobody's talking about is just how fast Shedeur Sanders is rising up the Browns' quarterback depth chart, and it's happening quietly, but with real momentum. A few weeks ago, most fans didn't expect much. He was seen as a developmental project, maybe quarterback 3 at best. But then OTA started and something changed. The arm strength was always there, but now he's showing sharper footwork, tighter mechanics, and most importantly, consistency. Sports Illustrated called him the most improved quarterback at practice, and those aren't just empty headlines. People in the building are taking notice. The big twist? Sanders didn't walk in with the advantage. Dillon Gabriel was listed ahead of him, and Joe Flacco brings decades of experience. But Shedeur isn't just competing, he's closing the gap. Reports say he's been throwing tighter spirals, reading defenses faster, and even rotating evenly with other QBs in live reps. That kind of early growth speaks volumes, especially considering that just months ago, Shedeur was projected as a possible top 3 pick in the draft. The Browns got him at a discount, and now it's looking like a steal. The mechanics are catching up with the talent, and that's a dangerous combination for defenses down the road. And while fans debate who should start week 1, one thing is becoming more clear with every practice. Shedeur Sanders has the highest ceiling in that room. No drama, no headlines, just progress. And the way he's playing right now, he's not waiting to be handed a role, he's coming for it. But while Sanders is rising, another quarterback is being sized up for very different reasons. And it's not about talent, it's about limitations. Let's take a hard look at Dillon Gabriel next. There's one thing about Dillon Gabriel that keeps coming up, and it's not his arm or accuracy, it's his size. At just over 5'11", Gabriel isn't your typical NFL quarterback build, and during OTAs, that reality became hard to ignore. On more than one play, especially in tight throwing windows, his lack of height showed up. One pass in particular, swatted straight down by Mason Graham, sparked debate. It wasn't just a deflection, it was a reminder that Gabriel might struggle to see over the line when the real pressure hits. And that's a problem the Browns can't ignore, especially if they want a quarterback who can thrive from the pocket. But here's the twist. Gabriel still finds ways to compete. His placement on short and intermediate throws has been sharp, even surgical at times. What he lacks in physical stature, he makes up for in precision. He's not the guy who's going to wow you with deep bombs or break the pocket with athleticism. But when he's in rhythm, his timing is clean and his decision-making is quick. That's why coaches are still keeping him in the mix. He fits the mold of a game manager, someone who protects the ball and moves the chains without mistakes. Still, the question remains, can that style survive in a system built for more dynamic threats? While Gabriel has shown flashes, it's clear he's not the flashiest option. And that makes the battle even more interesting. Because in a room with big arms, explosive legs, and veteran leadership, playing it safe might not be enough. Especially with Joe Flacco still commanding the top spot. But don't get comfortable. There's more happening in that QB room than anyone realizes. And it's setting the stage for a decision that could define the Browns' season. The Browns' quarterback battle is officially on, and the pressure is building with every snap. Joe Flacco may lead for now thanks to his experience and steady presence, but younger QBs like Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel are closing the gap fast. Each brings a different style. Flacco's structure, Sanders' mobility and upside, Gabriel's sharp accuracy, and Kenny Pickett's bid to stay relevant. But Pickett's lackluster showing raises doubts about his standing. Sanders, meanwhile, is gaining momentum and could rise quicker than expected. Coaches aren't just measuring stats, they're evaluating who can lead when chaos hits. The starter hasn't been named yet, but the stakes go beyond week 1. This decision will define the direction of the franchise. While most attention has been on the Browns' quarterback battle, the defensive line is quietly becoming a dominant force at OTAs. Rookie Mason Graham has turned heads with his explosiveness and strength, while Joe Tryon-Shoyinka brought serious aggression that shook up practice intensity. The group as a whole looks deep, hungry, and ready to wreak havoc, signaling that this defense isn't just trying to compete, it's built to take over. If they stay healthy, they could become the team's backbone. And just as things heat up on defense, major changes are brewing in the running back room, especially for Jerome Ford. The Browns' backfield is shifting fast, and Jerome Ford may be losing his grip on the RB1 role. Not because of poor performance, but due to the rapid rise of rookies Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. Judkins has emerged as a potential lead back with explosive cuts and top-tier vision, while Sampson's polished skill set from Tennessee is earning serious attention. Both backs are reshaping the offense with speed and unpredictability, pushing Ford into a tough position. Once seen as the clear successor to Nick Chubb, Ford is now rumored to be a trade candidate as Cleveland leans toward younger, more dynamic talent. Now, the real question becomes, who's going to be throwing him those passes when the real games begin? Will it be the veteran cannon of Joe Flacco, the rising arm of Shedeur Sanders, or the pinpoint accuracy of Dillon Gabriel? Let us know in the comments who should start week 1 for the Browns, and who do you think will be the biggest breakout star this season? Hit that like button if you're hyped for what's coming, subscribe for more Browns coverage, and drop your predictions below. One thing's clear, Cleveland's not staying quiet much longer.